So Pratik Mandal, what happened to your microphone? The microphone symbol is not showing in my system. Okay, so let's get started. So we shall start from the point where we left in the last class, and today I hope I will be able to complete this second module. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Till this point, that is Q is equal to delta U plus PdV. Till this point in integral form of the first law of thermodynamics, we discussed in the last class. Okay, now the important topic that is left with us is the specific heat of the substance. So as I discussed in the last class also, the specific heat are of two types. One is specific heat at constant volume and another one is the specific heat at constant pressure. Okay, so as per the law or as per the thermodynamics, we have certain definition for these quantities. Okay, and we should understand what is the meaning of it, this definition. Till now, we have got the idea of internal energy. Okay, we have got the idea of internal energy, that is the stored energy inside a system. Okay, that is the internal energy. So if we talk about the specific heat at constant volume first, okay, the specific heat of a substance at constant volume. So what is the definition? The specific heat of a substance at constant volume. Okay, the representation of it is small c suffix v. Okay, small c v is defined as the rate of change of specific internal energy. Just try to understand. Whatever the internal energy is there, what is the rate of change with respect to time? Sorry, temperature, with respect to temperature. That means what? With respect to the temperature, what is the change that have happened in the internal energy when volume is constant? Okay, that means you are not allowing the volume to change, but volume is kept constant, and the rate of change of internal energy with respect to temperature at constant volume is known as a specific heat of the substance at constant volume, and its representation is small cv, you can see. So you will have to remember this definition very well, and also this particular notation, okay, and formula. Cv is equal to delta U by delta T at constant volume. Understood? Now, just you can see, if you cross multiply it, you will get delta U equal to what? Cv into dt. So if you just take the integral from, then the delta U, small du, it will become delta U into Cv, and then you will do the integration from initial temperature T1 to final temperature T2 into Cp dt. This is also one of the notation for the change in internal energy at constant volume, not the Cv. This is the change in internal energy, this Cv, delta U. Okay, at constant volume. Now you know the formula for the first from the first law of thermodynamics, that is Q equal to delta U plus W, and this is the formula when you write in the integral form, that is dq equal to du plus dw. Now suppose there is a gas. There is a gas inside the piston cylinder arrangement. Okay, where the whatever the work done is there, it is by means of what? PdV work. We have already discussed about PdV work. Okay, in a gas, in the gas, when we talk about the work done in a gas, it is in the piston cylinder arrangement, the total work done is nothing but a PdV work. So suppose we have a system like that. We have a system like that where the work done is nothing but the PdV work. So you can see dW is nothing but PdV. We have already discussed this thing. So we can write from here dq equal to du plus PdV. Okay, and when the volume is kept constant, okay, when the volume is constant, then obviously this QV would be nothing but delta UV. Okay, this QV would nothing but delta UV. So you can see QV would be T1 to T2 integration of CVDT. This is also one of the formula that you will get from this specific at constant volume. That is change in heat Okay, or the value of heat transfer QV at constant volume would be nothing but the integration over initial temperature to final temperature multiplied by specific heat at constant volume into integral, that is dt. Okay, this is also one of the formula that you will have to keep in your mind. Okay, it may be used for solving some questions. Now there is another important term. There is new term which is known as enthalpy. Okay, you might have heard this term before in your chemistry subject also. So in thermodynamics, if somebody asks you what is enthalpy, okay, so enthalpy is nothing but sum of internal energy and the pressure volume energy. H is equal to U plus PV. This is the definition, or you can say this is the definition also and formula also. H equal to U plus PV. That is sum of internal energy plus pressure volume energy. H equal to U plus V. And remember one thing, whatever we are writing here in this small letter, they are nothing but the per unit mass. That means they are a specific term. Remember, they are a specific term. Just like we discussed now, okay, enthalpy. So if you write enthalpy with capital H, this is the absolute enthalpy. But when you write enthalpy with small h, then it is the what? Enthalpy per unit mass or specific enthalpy. So in thermodynamics, most of the calculation that we do, it is for the specific term, that is per unit mass. So you may see in many places that we have used the term that is the small letters. Okay, and in the numerical also, sorry, in the numerical also, when we will solve, we will find that most of the time we have to deal with that specific terms. You can see here H is equal to U plus PV, it has been written. Okay, everything has been written in the small letters. So from here you can have an idea that H, U, PV all are the specific term. Okay, you can see here the unit is also given kilojoule per kg. You can see it is nothing but per kg. But if it was the absolute enthalpy, then we would have used the unit only kilojoule, not per kg. Okay, so please try to understand this thing. Okay. Now again, let us see some derivation. dq equal to du plus dw, and when you replace dw with pdv, then this is du plus pdv. This is a very known formula for all of us. Now you know the logic of integration. Okay, you know the logic of integration. Suppose we want to do the integration of a function. Okay, and there is a constant quantity, suppose c, and then there is a function, suppose fx, for example. Then you can take it out this c from the outside of the integration. Okay, there is no problem at all. Or also, if you have this c outside the integration, you can put this inside integration also. There is no problem at all. Okay, you can do it by you can put this constant quantity when it is in multiple form. Okay, when it is like in multiplication form with the function, then you can either put outside the integration or you can put inside the integration. There is no problem at all. Okay, you are this is a very known fact. Okay, so this logic would be helpful here to derive some formula. Now dq equal to du plus pdv. Okay, now you know the term that is pdv. Can we write pdv is equal to d into pv if the pressure is constant? Just by the same logic we defined. Can we write that? Can we write pdv is equal to dpv if p is constant? Please respond yes or no, and if yes, is it clear to you or not? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Others?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आया सबको? So you can see if we can write PdV is equal to D of PV. Now what is the motive or what is the purpose behind doing this? The purpose behind doing this is the only one that we can simplify our equation. Now just you can see PdV equal to dPV we can write. Now just use this equation again. So dq equal to du plus PdV. So we can write dq equal to du plus in place of PdV we can write dPV. Okay. And now when we talk about the constant pressure, so our term is based on the constant pressure. Okay, whatever we are defining here, we have kept the pressure constant. So if we take dq p, that is this p means pressure is constant. So you know du plus dPV can be written as d into u plus PV. Can we write this?
Yes, sir.
Because this is the rule that is followed in the integration. That is the what is it called? That is cumulative law. No. So d of u plus PV can be again if you just segregate this term, you can see this is nothing but du plus d of PV. So in the reverse manner, du plus dPV can be written as d of u plus PV. Now u plus PV is nothing but h. You can see u plus PV is nothing but h. So from here we can write dq at P is nothing but dH. So from here what we can find out? We can find out that the heat transfer at constant pressure, okay, the heat transfer at constant pressure is nothing but changing enthalpy of the system. Understood my point?
Yes, sir.
This is the what this equation is telling us, no? So let us see few more important elaboration or thing related to this formula. Now H equal to U plus PV, as I discussed just now, it is a specific enthalpy and it is the property of a system. Why it is a property of system? Because you can see here U, P, V all are the property of system. That is why this H would also be the property of system, sum of all properties of system. Okay, now you have idea about the ideal gas equation. If we talk about unit mass of ideal gas equation, ideal gas, okay, you have studied in your high school level chemistry subject. That is PV equal to nRT or MRT for a mass for a particular amount of mass M. PV is equal to MRT. No, this is the very standard equation. PV is equal to MRT. You all are aware of this equation, but here
Yes.
we are using the specific term. So per unit mass, if you define, then this will become PV is equal to RT only for 1 unit of mass. If M is equal to 1, then
Yes,
PV
sir.
is equal to RT. Okay, so in this equation H equal to U plus PV, if we replace this PV with RT, can we do this? Can we do this? In place of PV, can we put RT?
Yes, sir.
So you can see in the place of PV, we have put RT. Now remember one thing, very important. Okay, in the last class only I discussed about very important thing. If you don't remember, then see this. I clearly told you about this equation. U is equal to Ft only. The internal energy of a gas does not depend on any other function except the temperature. The internal energy of the system for an ideal gas, okay, is the function of temperature only. That means what? It only depends on the temperature and nothing else. I discussed this point in the last class. So you can see here, now you can see here, H is equal to U plus RT. Now just look at this equation. U is the function of temperature only. R is the gas constant and T is the temperature itself. So from here, can we say that H is the function of temperature only?
Yes, sir.
All of you, please respond. Can we say
Yes, sir.
that because U is the function of temperature we discussed in the last class, R is the gas constant, there is a constant quantity, and T itself is nothing but the temperature. So you can see H depends on a function that is totally dependent on temperature, and it is also the function that is also dependent on the temperature. That means what, this whole H is nothing but a function that is based on the temperature. That is the temperature dependent function. So from here you can find out the enthalpy of an ideal gas also depends on the temperature only. Very, very
So what
important.
is small u, sir?
Internal energy,
Okay, sir.
specific internal energy. Okay. So H is equal to Ft only. Very, very important term. Okay. In ideal gas, just like the internal energy depends on the temperature only, the enthalpy also depends on the temperature only. Okay. Now you know the everything till now, whatever we have discussed, that is small h and all. So it is nothing but the specific quantity. Okay. So you know specific quantity means what? Per unit mass. That is H is nothing but what? Absolute enthalpy capital H by per unit mass M. From here, can we write H equal to small m into small h? Absolute enthalpy or total enthalpy just by cross multiplication, can we write? Can we write or not? From here. Can we write or not? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see H is equal to mH. The absolute enthalpy or total enthalpy is mass into specific enthalpy. Or in the similar manner, if you talk about the total enthalpy equation, okay, this is H equal to U plus PV for the small letter, or for the total enthalpy, that is the for the not the specific enthalpy but the total enthalpy, you can write capital H equal to capital U plus P into capital V. Okay, this is also one of the term. So you have to remember this equation very well. H is equal to U plus PV. We can write H is equal to U plus RT. H is the function of temperature only. Okay, this terms are very important, and many times the questions have been asked from this particular topic. Now there is important term specific heat at constant pressure. Till now we have discussed about the specific heat at constant volume. We discussed about enthalpy. Now we will discuss about the specific heat at constant pressure. Actually, to define the specific heat at constant pressure, we need to understand enthalpy. That is why the enthalpy term was taught before this specific heat at constant pressure term. Okay, it was required. So just like we found out we defined the specific heat at constant volume, in the similar manner we can define the specific heat at constant pressure. So you can see the specific heat at constant pressure. Okay, and the notation is small cp. Okay, small c in the suffix it is p. So just like there was cv, it is cp. Why p? Because pressure is constant. Okay, so the specific heat at constant pressure is defined as rate of change of enthalpy. In the previous case, it was what? It was rate of change of internal energy. You can see du by dt, but here it would be dh by dt at constant pressure. It was at constant volume. So everything is almost same. It was du by dt at constant volume. It is dh by dt at constant pressure. Understood? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now here H, T, P all are property. So that is why this Cp would also be property, because this is nothing but the function of the property. And also if you take the integral form, then delta HP is equal to T1 to T2 Cp dt. We can also write just by cross multiplying it. There would be a sign here. Okay, delta HP is equal to, not the, this is not the multiplication form. It would be equal to delta HP equal to integration from T1 to T2 Cp dt, just like here. Okay, just take the multiplication, that is delta H, or you can say del H equal to Cp into dt, and if you take the integral form, then this del H will become delta H at constant pressure, and the integration from what? T1 to T2 Cp into dt. Okay, so this is the definition you can see of the delta H. That is the change in what? Enthalpy at constant pressure. It can also be found out by using Cp into dt over the integration from T1 to T2. Now again, you can see here dq equal to du plus pdv. That is the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, and we know that H is equal to U plus PV. Just few minutes ago we defined this term, that is the enthalpy, specific enthalpy. Okay, so what do you do? Just put the term here. In place of PV, just you can see in place of PdV, du plus PdV is there, no? So you just rearrange this term here. So how do you rearrange? You can see dH equal to du plus PdV plus VdP, because we know what we know. Just listen to me. We know H is equal to what? U plus PV in small letter, everything. Now just take the differential sign. Then what will become? H will become dH, U will become du. Now when you take the differential of PV, what will it become? What will it become? PdV plus VdP, no? Integral of dPV is what? Sorry, differential of dPV is what? It is PdV plus VdP. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is a very basic differentiation method formula. So you can see H equal to U plus PV, and if we take the differential, it will become what? DH is equal to du plus PdV plus VdP. Now just look at the term du plus PdV. Just this two term, du plus PdV. Okay. Now you can see here du plus PdV is what? It is nothing but dq.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just replace this du plus PdV with dq, and the VdP term is there. So from here we can write dq equal to dH minus VdP. Can we write or not? Just rearrange the equation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now when the constant pressure, when we are taking the constant pressure, then this dqp is equal to dH only.
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
how. Tell me how. You can see dq equal to dH minus VdP, and if we take dq in constant pressure, then it would be dH minus VdP. Now at the constant pressure, the value of dP would be what? When the pressure is constant, then dP would be what?
D 0 हो जाएगा sir ओटा.
Zero हो जावे. So that is why you can see this dP will become zero. So only the term that is remaining here, it is dH. So dq at constant pressure is nothing but dH. Now if you just want to remove the differential form, then just remove the differential form by integrating, then you will find out QP. Okay, that is the heat transfer at constant pressure is nothing but change in enthalpy at constant pressure. Or we can write QP is nothing but T1 to T2 delta H, sorry, this is Cp into dt. Just now you can see, you can here also we have found. Okay, the delta HP equal to T1 to T2 Cp dt. Now in place of delta HP, what we can write? We can write QP, because delta HP is nothing but QP from here. Understood? So here we can write QP is equal to T1 to T2 Cp dt. Okay, so you can see this Cp into dt, that is the change heat transfer. Okay, at constant pressure is found out by using this formula, that is integration over initial temperature to final temperature into Cp, that is specific heat at constant pressure, multiplied by dt. Okay, is it clear, or do you have any doubt? Please tell me.
ना sir, doubt नहीं करना sir.
Kingsuk has no doubt. Others, please, if you have any doubt, please tell me.
So how did VdP become 0, sir?
We are defining this equation, this term for constant pressure. You can see here we are finding the specific heat at constant pressure. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you can see here what our formula is, dq equal to dH minus VdP. And if we talk about the constant pressure term, what is the meaning of constant pressure? That is, pressure should not change. No.
Yes, sir.
So what does dP represent? dP represent nothing but change in pressure,
Change in
mathematically.
pressure, sir.
So when we are talking about the constant pressure term, then this change in pressure would be what?
So 0.
Initial pressure is same and final pressure is also same. Then
Yes, sir.
dP would be 0.
Yes,
So
sir.
if
Yes,
dP
yes.
is 0, then this is whole VdP becomes 0, no?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay, so that is why this term has come. Now there is another last topic of this particular module, that is the energy of an isolated system. If you remember, what is an isolated system? When we studied the first module of thermodynamics and a very basic introduction class, at the very beginning, there were open system, there were closed system, there was isolated system. What was
So
the
no
definition?
exchange of heat and energy, sir.
No exchange of heat or energy. Okay, that is the system, as the name suggests, it is isolated, totally isolated. There would be no interaction between system and surrounding. So if there is isolated system, then there would be no work transfer, there would be no heat transfer. Is it clear? So if you remember, if it is an isolated system, then from the first law of thermodynamics, what was the first law of thermodynamics? It was dq is equal to change in energy dE plus dW. This was the first law of thermodynamics. So if we talk about the isolated system, then this dq becomes 0, then dW becomes 0. The only term which we have remaining is dE is equal to 0. Can we say that?
Yes, sir.
Only dE is equal to 0. So if dE is equal to 0, that means what? E is equal to constant. If you take the integration of dE is equal to 0, then what do you get? You get E is equal to constant. If E is equal to constant, then we can say that na, dE is equal to 0. Change in energy is equal to 0 when E is equal to constant. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so dE is equal to 0, or we can say E is equal to constant. So what is the statement, or what is the output that we are getting from this particular topic? We are getting that energy of an isolated system always remain constant. Okay, the energy of an isolated system always remain constant, and it is also the definition of the isolated system. If you try to understand, then there is no heat energy transfer, there is no mass transfer was there. Okay, so if energy transfer is not possible, that means what? Whatever the energy is there, inside that system, it is remaining constant. So from here also we can find out this statement. It is the energy of an isolated system remains constant always. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this was the last topic of this module 2. Now let us see a few problems related to the module 2, which is important for all of us. Okay, and with this we would like to complete our second module as well. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Videos of module 2 is not uploaded in the
It will be
EMP, sir.
uploaded. You will have to wait. No, it is not very frequent that we will upload daily. Our team is looking after these things, and it will be uploaded at time in the phased manner. Okay, it is not uploaded daily, so you will have to keep patience. Okay, it will be uploaded. Don't worry about that.
Okay, sir. Yesterday I checked, it was not there, so that's
Okay,
why,
so
sir.
don't worry about that. It will be uploaded, but please give us some time. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Now let us see a few questions. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this particular module, we will have to solve few questions related to the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, that we discussed, and we have also we already discussed about the problems related to the temperature. Okay, in the last few before 2 or 3 class. Okay, we have we have seen about the temperature scale, different temperature scale, and related to that temperature how we can solve the problems. Okay, and this is also the part of this particular module about solving this type of problem. And again, in this module, I have solved three or four questions. Out of this, one question is taken from the example, which is important. Okay, this type of question is asked in the exam, and 2 or 3 questions I have taken from the exercise. Okay, of the Pekinah book. So just try to understand. Question is very easy. Question is not at all difficult. You will just have to apply the concept. Okay, you will just have to apply the concept. And if you will solve few questions related to this particular topic, then you will have very clear idea about how to approach and how to proceed in this type of questions in the exam. Okay, what is the question? This is a question taken from the example. This question is already solved in the Pekinah book. Okay, you can find it in your book also, but this is the important question. This type of question have been asked in the exam. Okay, so that is why I am using this equation to make you understand the topic. Okay, what does this question say? A system is taken from state A to state B as shown in figure. You can see this is the figure. Okay, this is the PV diagram, and the system is taken from state A to state B. Okay, and by which path? You can see this is the path from A to C, then C to B, because you can see the arrow here. Okay, you can see the arrow here. Okay, along the path ACB. They already, although they have mentioned this path ACB, but if the path is not mentioned, then you will have to understand by means of arrow. The arrow is already put here. Okay, 84 kilojoule of heat flow into the system. Okay, 84 kilojoule of the heat flow into the system when the system goes from state A to state B. Okay, now the question says that, and the system does 32 kilojoule of work. System does 32 kilojoule of work. Now you will have to understand the language here. Okay, in the first law of thermodynamics, we discussed that work done by the system is taken as positive, work done on the system is taken as negative. So these things we will have to keep in mind when we will solve the problem. So here you can clearly say that it is saying that the system does the work. So when the system is doing the work, we will have to take it as what? Positive or negative?
So positive.
Positive. When the statement would have said, here the statement would have said that the work done on the system, okay, and the system is consumed the work, then we will have to take it as negative. But here the system is doing the work. It is clearly written the system does the work of 32 kilojoule. Now part A of the question, what does it say? Sorry. How much will the heat that flows into the system along the path ADB be if the work done is 10.5 kilojoule? That means if the path ADB, if the system does the work in the path ADB, okay, then what would be the this heat, the heat, how the flow, the quantity of heat flow would be how much? Now you might think the value in the initial part has been given for the path ACB, but the question is asking for the path ADB. Okay, and for the path ADB work done is given. So just look at the diagram very clearly, okay, and try to understand one thing. If we take the path ACB and ADB, what is the thing that is common?
They are same path, sir.
No, they are not same path.
So can you repeat your question?
I am saying that if you take the path ACB, okay, just look at the diagram. Can you see the diagram?
Yes, sir.
Now just look at the path ACB. This is the path. And look at the path ADB. This is the path ADB. What is the common thing which we are getting from by following both the paths?
So initial and final position is
Yes,
same.
this is the main thing. That is the initial point and the final point is same in both the path. That is the initial point was A and the final point is B. Whether you follow the path ACB or ADB. Understood my point? So
Yes.
that is why we will have to use this concept and we will have to find the value. According to that, we will able to solve this question very easily. Okay. Now the part B of the question, what does it say? It says that when the system is returned from B to A, system has returned from B to A along the curved path. This is the curved path, B to A, you can see. This is the curved path. Okay. The work done on the system is 21 kilojoule. Now look at the statement. Work done on the system. Okay, it is 21 kilojoule. Now the question says, does the system absorb or liberate heat, and how much of the heat is absorbed or liberated? Okay. And number C, if UA is equal to 0, that is internal energy at A is equal to 0. UD is equal to 42 kilojoule, that is internal energy at point D is equal to this. Find the heat absorbed in the process AD and DB. So let us try to solve this problem. This is very easy problem. Okay, just like the equation. Okay, you will have to find a certain value, then you will have to put that value in the another equation, then you will find another value. Just like in that manner, we will have to solve this equation, and we will have to keep in mind just the positive and negative quantity, whether the system does the work or whether the work is done on the system. If we will keep in mind this thing, then we will able to find out the solution very easily. Okay. So you can see QACB equal to 84 kilojoule. It is already there. Okay, in the question. And WACB, that is work done along, it is 32 kilojoule. It is also given there. Okay, for the path ACB, the Q, that is heat, is given and the work is also given. Now, if you apply the first law of thermodynamics, what does it say? Q equal to delta U plus W? No. So delta U means what? That is change in internal energy. And change in internal energy means what? Change at point B and point A, because the internal energy is nothing but the property of the system. It depends on the initial and final condition. So you can write this. Delta U is nothing but UB minus UA plus WACB. Can we write this?
Yes, sir.
So from here you can find out UB minus UA is nothing but QACB minus WACB. QACB is already given 84 kilojoule, WACB is already given 32 kilojoule. From here we can find out this 84 minus 32 is equal to 52 kilojoule. Now you can see here what we have got. We have got the UB minus UA term. Now if you follow the path ADB and apply the first law of thermodynamics again, then you will apply this formula again. Okay, for QADB equal to what? UB minus UA plus WADB. Now look at the question. Here in the first question, the WADB is given 10.5 kilojoule. QADB we will have to find out in the question. What does it say? How much will the heat that flows? That is, we have to find out the QADB. And this delta U, that is UB minus UA, we have found out using the first equation. Understood? Then can we find out the QADB? Just like this equation. Please respond yes or no, or you have not understood. Please tell me. समझ में आया नहीं आया बताओ मेरे को.
नो सर.
हाँ
सर एक बार बता दीजिए ना फिर.
ये वाला समझ में आया? UB minus UA equal to 52 kilojoule.
Yes sir.
So you can see UB minus UA we have found out 52 kilojoule using the path ACB. Because for the ACB this is the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, Q equal to delta U plus W. Okay, Q equal to delta U plus W. This is the first law of thermodynamics. Delta U means what? Change in internal energy from final point to initial point. So for the path ACB, if you take, then this delta U would be what? UB minus UA.
Yes sir.
So just replace this delta U with UB minus UA. Okay, W is nothing but WACB because we are solving for the path ACB. and Q is nothing but QACB. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
from here we can write UB minus UA is equal to what? This QACB minus WACB, just rewrite this equation. Okay, so from here UB minus UA can be written as QACB minus WACB. The QACB value is 84 kilojoule. It is already given in the question, and WACB value is 32 kilojoule. It is already given in the question. So from here we can find
Yes.
out UB minus UA is nothing but 84 minus 32, which is 52 kilojoule.
Yes, sir.
Now just look at the another path, that is the ADB, because in the first question you can see here, okay, in the part A of the question you can see what they are asking, that how much will the heat that flows into the system along the path ADB. For the path ADB, if the work done is 10.5 kilojoule, if the work done is 10.5 kilojoule, then how much heat would be flow? How much heat would flow into the system? That's the question they are asking. Now, if you just applied the first law of thermodynamics again, that is Q equal to delta U plus W for the path ADB, then can we write QADB equal to delta U plus WADB? QADB equal to delta U plus WADB, can we write or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, delta U means what? Change in internal energy from the final point to the initial point.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the final point here?
So B.
And what is the initial point?
So A.
So that is delta U would be UB minus UA or not for the path ADB.
Yes, sir.
So is it same that for the path ACB also?
Yes, sir.
So using the ACB path, we have found out this UB minus UA value. So can we use this value UB minus UA for the path ADB also?
Yes, sir.
So just apply the first law of thermodynamics again, and in place of this UB minus UA, put this 52 kilojoule. WACB, that is for the path ADB, it would be WADB. It is already given in the question. That is how much? 10.5 kilojoule. You can see work done is 10.5 kilojoule, and you will have to find out the QACB. Okay, so you can see this this QADB. So QADB is what? WB minus UA, just like here, plus WADB. That is 52 plus 10.5 kilojoule. That is 62.5 kilojoule. And this is the first part, answer of the first part. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So till this point, I am keeping okay. There is another part of this question. It would take some time to make you understand. Our time is already up, so we will discuss this thing in our next class. Okay.